Welcome to the Potager in early mid-July. If you're new here, I'm in Vermont in USDA Zone 5, and I just had a baby at the end of May, so things are a bit behind. I am slowly reclaiming the garden from grass, adding landscape fabric to beds, and planting what I can. I'm about a month behind on things I have transplanted, but I'm hoping to still get some harvest from them. There are some squash growing in this bed, and some beans were just direct sowed. This bed has rows of Brussels sprouts and broccoli, as well as some calendula. This one is about to bloom. This bed in the middle is my edible flower bed. This gorgeous plant here is a bergamot or bee balm, which I planted last year. It's hard to see, but there are little seedlings coming up. These ones are nasturtium. The alliums around the quince are done blooming. There are some nasturtiums down there. They're not currently blooming, but I'm hopeful. This bed is supposed to be rows of cabbage and marigolds. I do have one marigold blooming, but the cabbage is not doing great. I think I'm going to try to plant a fall crop. The snap peas on the PTP are looking great. It looks like it's time for another harvest. The zucchini that I direct sowed into this bed is all coming up, which is fantastic. I also direct sowed some amaranth, sunflowers, borage, and nasturtium in this bed, and some of them are just starting to pop up. I haven't actually planted up most of my herb beds this year. However, the herbs that came back this year are looking fantastic. There is lots of sage, oregano, and lemon balm, as well as catnip, hyssop, and anise hyssop. In these raised beds in the back here, I have some marigolds, some carrots in the middle surrounded by onions. This is currently my favorite part of the garden, a little patch of queen line zinnias and a volunteer tomato. I don't know what kind it is, but I plan on letting it grow and finding out. More carrots and onions on this side, along with beets, rutabagas, and my garlic, which is almost ready to harvest. There's also a little patch of nasturtium over here. Hopefully it will flower soon. My elder is the star of the garden. It's growing fabulously again this year. I have to keep an eye on the berries because they'll be ready to harvest soon. On the back fence behind where my asparagus is, I do have a couple varieties of shelling peas growing. I have gotten one harvest from them so far. These very cool round flowers are actually leeks that have gone to flower. I accidentally left them in the bed from last year, and now I want to leave more leeks in the garden to have this every year. Moving on to my market garden beds, these are my most recent plantings. I have 3 rows of tomatoes and 1 row of cucumbers on these trellises. Next to them are planted rows of basil. And I have ground cherries and flowers at the ends. I lined this pathway with flowers, so on the left here are cosmos and on the right are snapdragons. I am really excited for when they finally flower. This section of the market garden is my pumpkin patch. A few of the plants were started inside and then transplanted in, and then the rest were just recently direct sowed. I I did wrap the base of these and some other squash plants with some pantyhose to try to deter squash vine borers, so we'll see if it works. So that's the state of the garden. I wanted to quickly talk about seasons of life in the garden. I found myself feeling a little disappointed and frustrated with my garden this year. I have a vision in mind of what I want and was not able to get it to where I want it to be. However, I'm really trying to think about my season of life, and I think the garden is a really good teacher in that regard. I am currently in a season of life where I have a newborn, and he is cuddly, and he needs me to feed him, and he needs to be held by me a lot. And I do love that phase. And so I'm going to use all the time I have and I can this year to soak that phase up and know that the garden will be here next year. Just as the garden goes through phases, especially where we live here in Zone 5, we have distinct fall, winter, spring, summer. And so too, you will go through some seasons in life when you may be able to do more or less in your garden. And that's okay. It will be there again next year. Maybe it's not a new baby for you, but maybe you're dealing with an illness or a major life change, such as a new job or a change in relationship status. Whatever it is, give yourself some grace in the garden. Let your garden be a comfort and an outlet, but try not to get too discouraged if you can't give it the attention you want. It's a season, and good or bad, like all seasons in life, they come and they go. So in this season, for me, I am enjoying newborn snuggles, and I am gardening because I enjoy it. But I'm trying not to be too stressed and disappointed that the garden is not exactly what I envisioned in this year. There will be future years for me to work on my garden when my babies are older. Those are my thoughts. I hope they were helpful to some of you. Until next time, friends, happy gardening.